about the whole light situation. Welcome back to another stream. This is most definitely a stream that I never in a million years thought that I would be making, and I'm still really sort of like unsure about this. But as the title states, selling my vinyl. So I know core people that have followed this channel for a long time will know that I've always kind of said like the vinyl is like one thing that I would never sell, no matter how, whether things got tough, whether things got hard, whether, for whatever reason, like I'm a music lover, I'm a music collector, and selling vinyl is not something that I would ever do. However, things change, and I have over the past couple of days been thinking about selling my vinyl, the whole lot, including the turntables. Now, you're probably thinking why. You're probably thinking, Noble, why are you wanting to do that? When you said that you would never do it, and the obvious reason is, and it's not because I'm skint, it's not because I'm broke. However, it is actually, in sense, it is actually to buy something else instead that costs a lot of money. But I suppose the main, or the one of the reasons why I'm potentially thinking about selling up, and this is not 100% sort of set in stone, and I still kind of to a degree feel that if I did sell up, I might regret it, or it might be something that I just think, what, I wish I hadn't done that. And I am, getting, if I did sell up and get rid of my vinyl collection, it's a big part of my life that potentially is going. You know, there's some absolute classics on these records, and it might just be, to a younger generation, who maybe don't really know too much about vinyl, or don't really care about them because they think, well, I've got Spotify. I don't need thousands of these big horrible black circles that I have to, put this needle on to play music. But to me, it's like a history of, my passion, which is dance music. So it's a really, really tough decision. However, big shout to Mark. However, we are in 2024, and as we're in 2024, vinyl is not like it used to be. Now, so, um, I forgot what I was gonna say now. My mind's just gone. Yeah, gone completely blank. Yeah, we're in 2024, and vinyl is not like it used to be. It's if you want to have it at home and you want to collect it, have it at home and collect it. But from a DJ perspective, from an artist, like, you are not really going to play vinyl at gigs. Like, getting a vinyl gig nowadays is like a very, very slim chance. You might get. I've never had a vinyl booking since I've started DJing out, and it's one thing I've always wanted to do, but vinyl, as far as DJing goes, is just not the thing anymore. So, hello, I'm from India. Welcome. Hello. Yeah, so vinyl is just not the thing anymore. You don't go into a nightclub and blast, sets playing vinyl anymore. There's a few events that, just for the I guess the shits and the gigs, and the old school promoters that live in the past, and they argue that the old days is that you can't beat the old days, and they want to try and create the atmosphere, of the old school days. They probably they put vinyl only nights on. The turnouts, depending who's involved, that I'm aware of, they don't really do all that well. So for me, apart from having the odd spin at home, the odd little sort of, I'll have a vinyl mix now and again. I don't really play vinyl, so I've got all of these records that are just sat there doing nothing. So I'll immediately subscribe. It's Brenny. It's Brenny. Last movie I watched, I don't remember. I don't watch movies. I very rarely watch movies. The last movie I remember watching, and it's not to say that it is the last movie I watched, but I watched a movie a while ago called Benefits War, and it was essentially about a guy who was in the art. He's like, his passion was motorbike racing, but he'd also gone into the army, and he got injured in the army, and essentially he was told that he wouldn't be able to race motorbikes again. And he did motocross racing, but he like built himself up and he trained after being blown up in the war, to, you know, basically get back on the bike and prove the doctors wrong. And then he had an accident on his bike, and they literally like told him, look, you cannot keep going back on bikes. And he didn't listen. He went back on the bike, and then he won this like really important race. So yeah. I am not answering them kind of questions, so don't put them in the comments. If you carry on putting them, I will just straight up remove you from the channel. You know yourself, if you fill out forms and they ask you, like, you know, various different questions, you can put prefer not to say. And you know, it's not something I'm going, you know, we're a music-based channel. My favourite movie genre, so my favourite movie genre is like action. So I hate things like sci-fi. I hate movies that are set in like other dimensions, or, you know, don't want to make it like Star Wars related, but like, you know, galaxies far, far away. I like stuff that are somewhat, you know, sort of set in like cities, and, you know, just you know, I mean, I don't mind them going a bit extreme, but I hate stuff that like shy away from, like, you know, a massive monster that you're not going to see in real life. You know, I like at least some things to kind of look realistic within a movie. What's my favourite key to producing? My favourite key, I like C. I like producing stuff in C. But I like a lot of keys. There's not a specific key that I really specifically like producing in. I like certain songs, so maybe I like them because of the key they're in. I'm not really sure. What's this channel about? So I'm a DJ. I'm a music producer. I'm also a rapper. I'm also an MC. And essentially, I just really put anything on the channel. So I do these little live streams, and I talk about my upcoming gigs, and then I do like aftermaths of my upcoming gigs, and anything to update and talk about my music. So if I've got like a track that's coming out onto a label, then I'll, like, you know, I'll do like announcements. And if I'm at gigs, depending on, you know, how sort of busy or how good the gig is, I'll take footage of the gig, you know, of me like doing my DJ set, and then I'll try and put it on the channel, depending. But it all just varies. Sometimes I do play gigs, and sadly there isn't much of a crowd there. And if there isn't much of a crowd there, then I don't like to take videos, because it can actually harm the brand that you're playing for, and it can give them a bad advert by showing that their event was empty. So you've got to kind of somewhat, not necessarily lie, but, you know, don't, you know, so it can do harm if you're going online and you're boasting about how good this event was, and there was about 3 people there, you know. Just kind of how it happens. Big shout from Sweden. There's a view message that is, you're about to get naked for me. No, I'm not. Warning, we have copyright claims because you are too handsome. English or Spanish? English. Is this pre-recorded? This is not pre-recorded. I come live and I essentially just talk and waffle on. People can watch live, or they can watch after it's gone live. I don't really care. It's not about how many people watch. It's just, for me, it's something I can look back on. So I can like look back in years' time and go, oh yeah, I remember doing that gig because to a degree I've documented it. So the flyers on the thumbnail, and I've spoke about the gig, and it's almost like it's like having a diary for me. It's like a diary, so I'm like making notes by doing these live streams, and instead of writing things down, I'm talking about it to a camera, and like I say, it's something to look back on. So to me, I don't really care if I do a stream and one person's watching. Like I will just literally still get my point across, and then if people want to watch the live after, they can. If they don't, no worries. Or if they even do like 2 years down the line, they can watch it 2 years down the line, and they'll go, oh look, he did a gig there, blah blah blah. So and I just come and do jet. Sometimes I come live and I talk about things like that just aren't music related. So some because I do have a small passion for video games. I used to like video games a lot more than I do now. Like nowadays, I just mainly focus on music, so I don't really play video games much. But there was a time on this channel where I would like live stream video games and stuff, and I do watch streams and I talk about video games, and if there's something like that has really intrigued me, like when they dropped the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer. I've always been a Grand Theft Auto fan, so I wanted to put my thoughts across upon the trailer. But apart from that, I do the odd thing, things like sometimes like I don't do a lot of like my personal life because I tried to keep that a lot like off social media. But if something like I don't know, say I moved house or something, which I moved into a new flat about 3 months ago, so I did do a little update regarding that, and I did sort of put something online about that. But genuinely, like if I've just had I don't know, for whatever reason I've had a shit day or a shit week, I'm not just gonna come live and go, this got me down today and that got me down yesterday, and and last Monday this happened. If it's not really music related. But apart from that, we try to keep it sort of music related. Do I have a GF? I don't currently at the moment. I am single at the moment. I'm happy at the moment. I'm I don't. I guess I'm just waiting to find the right person. I don't know if that's necessarily like a good thing or a bad thing, because I don't know. Sometimes there's that like will you ever find the right person? And sometimes if you don't dip your toes in, as they say, you don't really know. Um, but I've just started like there's a lot going on in my life, like a lot going on in my life that just kind of makes me kind of think like going into a relationship, like I don't want to complicate things, um I had a and again I don't say a lot of like outside of life, like outside of music stuff on the channel. But if we go back to a year ago, I was not in a good way. I was not in like my living situation was absolutely horrendous. But I didn't post about it online. The music was going well, but outside of music wasn't going so well. But I just kept the channel focused, on music. And sort of mid to late last year, we got evicted from our house, and I got bunged into a shared house, which I don't really know if to use mental health is the term, because I've never really classed myself as somebody to have mental health. But going into that shared house, I never wanted to really go into it in the first place, and I sort of had no choice. It was either that, or it was like move out of Hull and go back to Driffield, which made it awkward for work. And the only logical thing that meant I could still walk to work and I could still get to work and still do my music stuff and my gigs was to move into this shared house. And the shared house did not do me any good. It made me become like really down. There was someone in the shared house who didn't like me. So, with all this going on, and only just like about 3 months ago, I've moved into my own flat, which is like the first time like completely living alone, where like, you know, I've got my own bathroom, I've got my own kitchen, I'm having to live on my own for the first time. You know, I've lived with like, you know, I lived with my mum and dad for most of my childhood, and then a lot of my teen years I moved into my grandparents, and then when I first moved to Hull, I moved into my mum's house. So I've always kind of lived with somebody, and then even going into the shared house, even though it was more independent, you were still living with other people, and it, you know, it wasn't like completely being on your own. So coming into this flat has really made me like have to really like, you know, start, you know, I guess manning up as well, you know, doing more, being more independent, and you know, I'm having bills to pay more, and you know, I'm having to do more food shopping, and you know, cleaning up and keeping things tidy and stuff, and you know, I'm trying to, as they say, I'm trying to get my life, I'm trying to build my life up. So you know, so getting a girlfriend, like, although, you know, like I say, if the right one came around, or you know, for whatever reason, you know, I wanted to date this girl, and this girl wanted to date me. You know, that's different. But at the moment, I'm not really like, I'm not really going fishing, if you like, because I'm just trying to focus on building my life up. So when I do eventually, you know, think it's time to go fishing, or I do find somebody, I'm not somebody with nothing, if that makes sense. I wouldn't want to be that person who is like somebody with nothing, and I hate relying on people. Like, I don't want people to, you know, because there's always that thing like where it's all good getting help from people, but sometimes you can get too much help to the point where you look back, and then you think like, you know, you wouldn't do this if it wasn't for them. You know, and they can sometimes, you know, if something goes wrong, they can hold that against you, and they can go, well, you won't be here if it wasn't for me, you know, or you'd be still on the streets if you didn't move in with me, kind of thing. And I kind of think like, you know, I want to get with someone and be like, yeah, I live in my own little place, and I've got the job, and it's going well. So at the moment, like, I'm just trying to, you know, like, find myself. You know, music's really well. Don't want to stop the music, of course. I love that. But more outside of like music and outside of work, just, you know, who I am outside of being, you know, this DJ and that kind of thing. So, Yo G, you're a bad boy MC, my G. The Job Centre rap was hard. The Job Centre rap, although that might come across as, you know, a little bit like, you know, I think it can be classed as a little bit of a funny rap, a funny rap. You know, or something that, you know, would just get sort of like get posted online to be laughed at. But believe it or not, I actually wrote that with there was truth in the reason of writing it. And when I wrote it at the time, I was on the dole. I was claiming universal credit. So I'd become unemployed. My family business, my granddad had retired. My dad ran the business for a while, and then the business actually closed down. So when I wrote the Job Centre rap, I was on Job Centre at the time, and it was just basically saying like, I have this passion beyond just wanting to do a 9 to 5 job, and that was kind of the reason of writing it, and it was about like, so I know the first bit of the lyrics is like, it's the weekend going on a bender with my cash from the job centre, but like later on in the rap, I started spitting about kind of like, you know, like, the job centre's making me do things I don't want to do. You know, I've got this passion for, you know, like spitting bars and doing things with music, and I wanted to show the job centre that, you know, this is the career I want to take, and not just, you know, bag a job at Tesco stacking shelves kind of thing. So I'm living the life right now. Meal deals saving me. Hey, do you know what? Tesco meal deals, they're not bad. Quite often I get a Tesco meal deal, and do you know what? They're smoked bacon sandwiches with ketchup. They're actually not that bad, and you'd think like a cold bacon sandwich like it wouldn't be that good, but it is actually really nice. And do you know what? Like, because I'm a bit like I'm a really fussy eater, so there's a lot of food that I don't don't eat or I don't like, and I'm not into like salad and stuff. So I am the guy like who would literally go to McDonald's and order something plain. So like I do like when it comes to like sandwich deals, I will get like the just ham or like the like ham and cheese. And if it's got any like pickles or anything in it, like I will not touch it. If the bread's like seeded bread, I hate seeded bread. But the sandwiches, like the just ham and the smoked bacon and the ham and cheddar cheese, they're actually really nice. Actually, really nice. Love from India. Um, my fave song from you, is each month. You know I'm gonna get it. 251. Oh yeah, each month. Yes, you know I'm gonna get it. What's your job now, Mush? So I'm so my job role is a youth music facilitator. So essentially, I'm a youth worker. That's like in hindsight, that's what it is. I'm a youth worker. So I run a project for a charity organisation called the Goodwin Development Trust, and they have a music project called the Whole Youth Music Network, and it's essentially a project that aims at like 16 to 29-year olds. And it's like giving them the opportunity to help shape the future of music in Hull. So we run these like we call them like network meetings. People come to these meetings and they can fill out these forms and they can talk and they can essentially tell us like what they would like to see in Hull as far as like music goes and how we can kind of help the new and sort of like the upcoming bands and musicians. So quite a cool job. But alongside that, we do like loads of other things as well. So we run like music, like free music sessions where people can come on stage and jam. We have like a free recording studio. So like we offer that out for free, and I work in there like once. Well, I work in there a couple of times a week now. People can come in. Essentially, like anybody can come in. Like whether it's like whether you've made music before or not, but a big part of it is like we focus on the basics. So like people who necessarily don't sort of like really like fully release music, but maybe they dabble in making stuff, or maybe they've never made a beat before. So can you split dough? Can you spit a dough for us now? What age you mean? So I'm 26. I'm 26. But this charity organisation where I work, I say like charity, it's like a government-funded organisation, and they do all kinds of things. They don't just do music stuff. So they help like unemployed people get back into work. They do what they do, housing. They do they do all kinds of different things. They help people with like money budgeting, and all kinds of stuff. And the job centre sort of like recommended that I went there like to seek help with looking for work, and that was kind of how I got involved with Goodwin. So I kind of did like their project to like help me get back into work, and I was telling them obviously like my passion is music, and it was getting towards the end of my time at Goodwin, and they were kind of starting to like, right, we've got to think realistically now that you might that you're probably not going to be able to get a job in music, so you are going to have to like try and go like for something else for now. And then lo and behold, like this job became available in their workplace to run this music project. And the person who was helping me at the time rang me up one day and said, look, I've got you an interview for a job that is going to be right up your street, music related, and it's actually at our place. And I was kind of like, this is perfect because I already know a lot of the staff members. I'm already quite familiar with the building, and plus it's a music related job. So I interviewed for this job, and sadly was told that I hadn't got the job. Two other people got the job, and one of the people that got the job decided very, very quickly, after I think only a matter of a few days of being in this job role, that they didn't like the job and they didn't want to do it, and actually this job wasn't for them. So the job became available. There was a role that came up, and essentially, instead of sort of like looking for somebody, I was kind of like the third best person they interviewed. Like, so there was the two that got the job, and then I kind of like only just didn't get the job, if that makes sense. And then I got the job. And now, believe it or not, I've nearly been in this job 2 years. So it's like it's a funded job. So like every so many months, like there's this kind of like little bit of worry that they you might not get funding. So essentially, what a big part of my job role is like I have to impress the people that fund us. So whatever we're doing, like music sessions, recording studios, putting events on, we have to document it, and we have to show that these projects are doing well and that what we're offering is working in the city. To kind of like make the funders say like, right, well, we're going to give you more funding to keep the projects going. If they don't think that something's doing well, or there's something better's come along and they'd rather fund that, then you won't get funding. And sometimes like funding's ran out and you have to go and look for it from somebody else and get like somebody else to fund you. So it's like a really like difficult thing. But I'm just kind of, it's like a funded contracted job, a bit like actors on telly. Like, if the contract gets extended, then they stay on the show. If my contract gets extended, then I stay in the job. So you work for government, you're a screw. I don't work for the government, not like everything. Like I work for the company that works for the government, essentially. So I don't see the government. I don't have out to do with the government. All I know is like we go to like arts council for funding. We go to like national lottery for funding. We go to Hull City Council for funding. And they essentially fund us. If they think it's worth funding. So all I do is work there. I get a monthly wage, which varies. It varies what I do during that month. Like I always get a fair, like I get my normal sort of like work hours, if you like, which I work 15 hours. It's a part-time job, but sometimes like I get drafted in from like other people like they like what we do, and they say like, look, would you do like a 7 week project with us? So for example, I did one recently, worked with some people from a care home, and we did like a music project, and there was like a performance at the end. So I got like for them 7 weeks where I was doing like maybe just so like every Tuesday for 7 weeks I was doing like sort of like 2 hours, maybe like an hour and a half to 2 hours. So I was doing like an extra sort of 2 hours a week, if that makes sense. So that was like an extra 2 hours a week worth of pay. And then sometimes something might come up and you end up working on a weekend or something. So you do like an event on a Saturday. And then you get extra pay for working on the Saturday. So it varies, but it's a really good job. It's for me, like, and I will hand on heart say this, like it is, like, and I've done a lot of jobs. I've worked in factories, I've worked on farms, I've worked in a country store, and I've fitted TV aerials, I've done electrical work. I've done a few different things. I've done college, motorcycle maintenance. This is the best job that I have ever done. Like, because I get to do the one thing I love, which is work around music. So obviously myself, like I'm a DJ, an MC, a rapper, music producer. So I can bring elements of that into my job role, which is really good. But not only that, I can take things from my job and take it into my own music career. So for example, like we put networking events on, we put events on. So like, sort of, learning about putting events on and promoting is like a big, it's a big skill in itself. And rather than just like any average guy just sitting there and saying, do you know what, I'm going to put a rave on, and I'm going to start this brand. Like, if I ever wanted to do that, and this is not me saying like I'd just be a pro at it, but if ever I did want to do it, like I've learned some form of like skill, I've learned some kind of experience from doing it in my job role, and I'll know like certain things what will work and certain things that won't work. And there's just certain elements of things that I've learned in the job that I can take to my to my personal music career, and things like from my personal music career that I can take into work. So I can say like, oh well, actually, I went to I gigged here at the weekend, and they actually did this, which I thought was really cool, and we could try doing something similar. So it really is a good job. The only thing that I hate about the job is the fact that you think like after so many months that your job could essentially be over, which is like the really bad thing. But all you can really do is like not think, like the more you think about it, the worse it is. And if you can just like crack on and do the best that you can do, like you can't go far wrong. And I've been in the job for 2 years now, so like, and even though like being in the job for 2 years doesn't matter, that you could be out of you could be out of a job within the next couple of months. It could happen. But being, I suppose, in there for 2 years is definitely a good sign. That you've done something right, that they've wanted to keep the funding going for that long. So it's absolutely crazy. But we got mentally off topic. We went mentally off topic. So the whole point of this stream was, can we get a live version of Job Centre? No, we can't. We can't get a live version of Job Centre. No, so the whole reason why I came live is I don't know why I'm saying this, but I am thinking of selling my vinyl collection. So that is a crazy thing within itself. So we're in 2024. Vinyl records, they're still a thing. Like they're still a big thing. But in terms of like you know, like gigging wise, you don't play vinyl. Like you don't turn up to a nightclub and really play these 12-inch vinyl records anymore. So apart from having like the odd sort of like spin at home, so like now and again I'll think, you know what, fancy putting some records on. I don't really use my vinyl records, 9 times out of 10. It's all digital, it's all digitally. Um, so for me, they're kind of just sat here in the shelving units. They don't really get used. They get pulled out every now and again, and it doesn't really, like I say, beyond having a spin at home, vinyl records don't really benefit me. So I've been like, because I always said like vinyl is like the one thing I like. It's my collection. I love music. I'd never part with them. But now like it just seems like as the years are going on, the technology is improving. Like there's just less reason to really play vinyl, sort of in sort of the era that we're in. And I certainly don't think I'm gonna get any gigs anytime soon to play any vinyl. So so they've got the goal. So Ashley, Ashley, that's your fitness. Yes, Mosh had to cut back though, been tripping. We always play Job Centre music, very good. I'm glad you like that one, because a lot of people like fucking Scarborough Beach. So you know what, like, because I like the Job Centre MC. Like, I don't have anything against that one. I did not in the slightest regret making that one. As a matter of fact, if I gig to MC, which I still do at the moment, although I am knocking that on the head, I am actually giving up as an MC. Well, I'm not giving up, but I'm kind of taking a step aside to focus on my other aspects of music. But like when I do gig an MC, I always spit Job Centre. It is something that does come out in the sets quite often. It was it was one lyric like back from 2019 that I actually rated. So do vinyls or something. When we get physical releases of Job Centre, yeah, there won't be any physical releases. There was no like original backing music wrote for it. Like I just found the beat online, spat over it, recorded myself spitting over it. You know, it's as far as it goes. Nothing more to say. So do a remake. I might do. I'm thinking about, because next year is going to be 10 years of MC Noble. So I think I am going to do something for it. I just don't know what I'm going to do yet. But I'm thinking about some form of like through the decades of Noble. So I'm going to do like some of my really early, you know, some of my really early rhymes, and then kind of like take it through to some of my more recent rhymes. But I'm not like completely certain yet, so we'll have to see. We shall have to see. But I'm not certain yet, so we'll see. So I use the translation to type in the chat. Please show thumbs up or down if you agree with Job Centre music sounding good. Oh dear. No, I enjoyed the Job Centre one. I don't I don't know what language you are. Not so, you know, not to be offensive. Right, I need to find something, and I can't find it now. Oh, actually. There it is. Who are you voting for in the election? Probably nobody. I know you're probably thinking like, why, but all right, we're getting a bit with these questions now. I'm gonna shy away from answering them, just because, like you know, like we've all got our opinions and stuff, but we can offend people by what, you know, by what we think. You know, if I think something and somebody else disagrees with me, like they can actually get offended by it. So I tend not to talk about this kind of stuff, just because, like I say, I don't think it's particularly relevant. So yeah, unfortunately, apologies, but yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, we're not gonna go there. Right. You're a lefty. Yes, I am left-handed. Absolutely left-handed. Ooh, what happened there? Oh yeah, there we go. I've just opened up my production software. I'm just gonna move you along. The light gets in the camera, which is why I don't always put it here. But now I'm much talking about politics. But this is what I'm working on at the moment. I make a lot of bounce. Oh. So here it comes. So yeah, I'm still working on that one at the moment. I think I'm gonna go for a better lead sound at the moment, like you know. But I'm still working on it. But you know, it's just you know still in the process in the nicest way possible. That tune is shite. Hey, everyone is titled to an opinion, and I've been doing this music for a long time, so don't think you know don't think that you're you know coming across offensive because you know in music like you've got to sometimes you've just got to give people like constructive criticism. I made a track the other week, and I thought it was good. And don't get me wrong, I still don't mind it. And there's a Bounce producer, but he goes like live on YouTube, and he basically like streams and he listens to people's tracks. People send him tracks they've made. He listens to them. And I was traveling and I'd put a little preview up on Facebook of a track I was working on. So I just thought, all right, he's live. So I'll just post a link to him for him to listen to it. And you know, and let's just say like he didn't have like loads of good things to say about the track. Like he didn't hate the track, but he said, look, it's you know, it just needs a bit more energy and stuff. So it wasn't like that he didn't like the track and you know he didn't say the track was crap or it was rubbish. He just said look you know it's just a little bit you know you know it's just a little bit like you know like it's just lacking in some energy, and this one is at the moment like you know we go to the drop. But it's not too bad. It just needs a little bit more on the. I think the lead just like we need, you know, a little something on the lead. But it's you know, it will get there. It will get there. It will. It'll come together. But where I'm just thinking. So what have I got here? Oh yeah, so that's and then that's the lead. So actually, oh yeah, that's the vocal. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna try and fill the breakdown a little bit more. I think that's kind of what I'm gonna do because I've just realised like I've got that little pad sound, but it would actually be nice to get another pad sound. So you can't always. My uncle danced when the beat came through the audio. Oh, well, I'm glad he danced. I'm glad he danced. But if you don't know, which you know, I'd be quite surprised if you didn't know. It's a remix of Jason Derulo riding solo. I haven't heard many people bounce it, or as a matter of fact, I've heard one person do a version of it years ago. That's all I know. So, I think that one maybe. I need to go on to. There we go. And that's on the E4. Right, I'm gonna change the sound of it. Live performance. I actually quite like that. Let's have a. right, that's pretty cool. Right, there's just. Ah, yeah, that's a lot better. Oh yeah, I'm all good. I'll just yeah, just checking things out as I'm sort of working on the tune. Ooh. Yeah, I used to use a cracked FL Studio, and then it's a bit of a long story, but I was doing a collaboration with somebody else, and I so essentially, um, I was on a cracked, they was on a cracked, so but I was on like a newer crack than them, so I told them, look, you can get this link and you can download this crack, and you'll have like you'll have a version of FL21, and we can do this collab together because I don't know like if you how well you know FL Studio. I'm quite familiar with the program now, but if you essentially like if someone starts working on a project, they send it to you, and then you open it in a newer version of FL Studio, and then you send it back to them. They can't open it in if it's already been opened in newer software. So I told him that look, if you get this, crack, I've got it. You'll be on the same version as me. So he got this crack, and little did I know that this crack had been updated, so it was an even newer version of FL Studio. So I couldn't open the project when he sent it back to me. So I thought, all right, I'll go and re-download the link, and I'll get the newer crack. And it crashed my computer, which I was very surprised about because I would have like shouted from the rooftop about this link, like if people wanted to get a cracked version of FL, like it's always worked fine for me. So in the end, I thought, do you know what? I'm taking this music production a bit more seriously. I'm trying to learn it more. I've got the money to buy it. Why don't I just buy it? Then it's legit. I know it's legit. I get the free lifetime updates. I ended up buying the wrong version, so I bought like just the standard version, not the producer edition. But I paid like 80 quid for it. It was on like a bit of a discount, and I love it. So I love it. Do I live alone or them supported living places? So I live on my own, but it's in like a supported living place. So it's like a flat. But like there's an office downstairs in our building. There's like social workers that work there sort of Monday to Friday. And I've got like what's called allocated time. So like essentially they basically like see me once a week. So it's all good. They're really nice as well. I get on like really well with them. So a lot better than the shared house, trust me. But yeah, I think. Oh, I hate this mouse. Yeah, I think having the little. Let me just gonna. Right, yeah, I don't, right, that little, oh, alright, yeah, so I don't actually like that. I want to change that pad sound. Yes. I build my house. Wicked. Is it for specialists and that, lad? No offense, mush. Don't know a better name. It's for anybody really. You know, you don't have to be. You don't have to be. You don't have to have disabilities to live in one of these places. You could just need like any general help, like you mental health, or maybe you're not in a situation, you're in a bad situation. So, how do you obtain that home? Quite easy. So the social workers that they help quite often. I see them once a week. So I can get a free gaff. It's not a free. The thing is, it's not a free gaff. That's the thing. Like, I don't live here for free. If you think I live here for free, you have got another thing. You've got another thing coming, mate. Trust me. I actually like, I live here, and I probably pay more here than anybody else in this whole block of like flats do. Trust me. No. So what you do is you pay a service charge. So housing benefit, they basically pay like a big majority of your rent, like what you live here, and then you pay like gas. So you pay your gas and electric. And you pay your council tax, but depending sort of how you are, like is depending like how much you'll have to pay. So for me, like I work a part-time job, so because I work, like the housing benefits, they refuse to pay. So I pay £320 a month rent to live here. I pay about 70 quid for gas and electric, and I pay around 40-50 quid for council tax. And then I obviously like food shopping and stuff like that. So essentially, I could in sense, with what I'm paying out, I could like live in like a normal flat, essentially. But when I like first seek to, about moving into this place, like I didn't know I was going to have to pay as much as I did. Like we didn't think they was going to like refuse so much on the housing benefits. So but the thing what I like about being here is you get that help. So like they don't help you with paying stuff, obviously. Like they're just gonna say, here, I'll pay your rent for you, but like they'll assist you in like what and like any other needs that you need, and they help you sort of get into independent living. So it's quite good in that sense. But I need to grab my phone charger. My phone's getting low. My phone's getting very low. Bloody hell. I just got a warning, less than 5%. So let me stick this on charge while we're live. Yeah, we're on 4%. I'm gonna cut it in a moment. I ain't giving you a room tour. There's not all that much to see. I had a gig at the weekend, and I took my DJ equipment to the gig, so I haven't really got because I only came back home yesterday from a busy weekend. Um, you know, I haven't set the equipment back up yet. So essentially, when I had the main equipment kind of taken for the gig, I set this up just so I could because I had two gigs at the weekend. One was like just your typical, we're in a nightclub kind of thing, and then the other gig was like, right, I'm supplying a whole night's worth of music in a pub. So when I did that gig, I obviously had to, I had to take my own DJ equipment. So they up a couple of days early, my grandparents. So I was a couple of days without the decks, and then like since I've come back, like I've just not set them back up yet, just because I haven't been tired. So do I receive money from YouTube? No, I don't. I don't really give a crap, to be honest. I play copyrighted music. I say what the hell I want. I play stuff that probably I play and say stuff that YouTube probably don't want me to play or say. So they probably wouldn't monetize me anyway. I don't really care. YouTube has never been a thing for me. Getting money off YouTube, I'm not asked about it. So, based. How did you know my middle name? How? How did you know my middle name? How much they pay you for gigs? It's not how much they pay me. It's how much I quote them. So I quote them, and they pay what I quote them if they're happy with that quote. If they aren't happy with that quote, then unfortunately they whistle. They can do one essentially. Yeah, that is like, it's not like, oh, will you come and do this, we will pay you this much. No, you pay what I'm asking you to pay, because I've got to travel, I've got to take equipment. If I'm doing something, if I'm doing something, where I'm taking my own equipment and stuff, I'm charging for the fact that I'm taking equipment. My DJ equipment, there's over £1,000 worth of music equipment that, I need to, if something went wrong or someone spilt a drink on it, like, if I was saying, oh, just give us 50 quid, like that wouldn't cover shit. Do you know what I mean? And even what I offer would probably not cover shit, but I have to be realistic, and even then, I still probably do it far cheaper than what some people would. So, how much would it cost to book? Well, this is the thing. You've got to take a lot of things into consideration, because people think like, oh, he went here and he was this much, he's going to come to me and he'll be this much. That is not how it works, because it depends where I'm going. It depends how long I'm there for. It depends, exactly what people are wanting. So, if I'm doing like my normal nightclubs, so like when you do a normal nightclub, you don't take your own equipment. You just take like a USB stick, you plug into the nightclub's equipment, or, if the event promoter's putting the event on, sometimes he's organised and hired equipment for it. Whatever, you don't take your own decks. So when I do that, I have a set fee that I charge for DJing, just to come and play at your event kind of thing. However, if you're booking me to, like to come and like as a mobile DJ, where I'm bringing PA speakers, I'm bringing decks, I'm bringing maybe lighting, whatever the situation is, that's where it becomes a whole different ball game, because for one, it depends where it is. Two, it depends how many hours I'm going to be there for. It's not like turning up to a nightclub and playing an hour set. Sometimes you can be there and you're playing 5-6 hours long. You can do 6 p.m. until midnight, and it's just you playing all night. And it depends, like, I think I might have said it, but it depends, like, how far the distance is. So I did one in Driffield on Saturday. So Driffield is 21 miles away from where I live. So I had to go, 21 miles. I had to travel with equipment. I had to go there and set up. I was there for 5 hours, so from 9 until 2 a.m. The whole night, just me, no other DJ, no other entertainer, no other type of music. It was just me the whole night. And I charged 200 quid. which is probably, you know, it's a little bit cheap, to be honest. Like, you might look at that and think, do you know what, like, that's quite expensive. But when you're considering like what you're getting, like if you go to another DJ, they're probably going to charge you like nearly 300-400 quid to do that kind of thing. I'm not out there to rip people off. I just enjoy the love of what I'm doing. Like, I enjoy being up there and out there and playing music, but at the same time, I just like, you know, just a little bit to make it worth my while. So what I charge for that, you know, because you know, I getting the equipment there was no issue. You know, my grandparents came and picked it up. Staying over was no issue because I crashed at my grandparents, and you know, it was an easy thing for me. Whereas if somebody said, like, you know, come to, I don't know, come to Leeds or come to Sheffield or come down to Leicester, where you're going to be travelling like 2-3 hours, you know, and you're going to have to, you know, there's a lot more that goes into it, and it's a bit of a further distance, then yes, I would probably charge a hell of a lot more for it. But you know, it all varies. I mean, I don't take a lot of bookings where I take my own equipment, because, you know, I push myself as a rave DJ, not the guy who comes to your wedding and plays like Motown and 80s. Whereas at the weekend, I was actually playing like rave tunes. You know, they booked me for like a Clubland night to do Clubland and bounce. So, you know, but it just varies. So I don't necessarily have a set price, because it depends where I'm going and, you know, what I'm doing. So, Uncle, stop dance now. Right, why can't you see this message? Message held. Can I not view it though? Oh yes, I can. Lad, just give me a number. Bring your shit. All right. Now, no need to be. You know what I mean? Too many words, Uncle, stop dance now. Anyway, my phone is still on 4%, so I'm gonna cut it. Plus, it's getting close to 11:30. I've got another busy day tomorrow, work and stuff. Well, I'm not actually physically working till the evening, but this is what people don't understand. Like, I have to go into the office and I have to pick things up on the day that I'm not due to work in the office. And then I have to like go all the way to like other youth centres and do stuff there, and then come all the way back and cart like the bags with like some equipment and stuff in. So, you know, people think like, oh, you know, you're only doing a session at night, but no, I'm going to the office, I'm picking things up, I'm making sure like iPads are charged. You know, there's more that goes into it than just turning up at like the session at night and then like coming back from the session, you know. So it's one of them. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah. So make sure to like, make sure to comment. We went very off topic. We went very off topic with what we were streaming about, and it was about selling the vinyl. So I'm thinking about selling the vinyl. Nothing set in stone, but I just feel like it's not really serving me a purpose anymore. But I'm 50-50, because I love my vinyl. I love the fact that I've got all these records. But at the same time, I want to do things like get a bike on the road. And let's be honest, I'm never going to gig with vinyl records, probably, because they're not really the in thing anymore to do that. Beyond like collecting them at home, you know, the odd DJ who played, you know, vinyl years ago, or is like, you know, known for like, you know, being a wicked vinyl DJ, might get booked to do like reunion sets. But apart from that, you know, who really plays vinyl in clubs nowadays? So I just think like, you know, I'm never gonna get booked for it. I've just got all of this, you know, I'm just sitting on money essentially that could go towards something that's probably gonna get more of a use. But you know, I'm not certain yet. I'm not saying I will sell. You know, if I can get a motorbike without having to sell, then by all means, I would not sell. But we'll see. Do I ever booze it up? Nope. I am nearly 2 years sober from touching alcohol. But I won't go fully into it. There's like two reasons. why I gave up. Well, I'll go over one reason before we end. So the first reason was it got to the point in my life where I thought, look, I've got this opportunity to really push the music and get bookings and do well. Do I want to just be like getting drunk all the time? I turned up at gigs, and in nightclubs, and decided let's have a few drinks and stuff, and got too drunk, and then was unable to go on stage and MC, or go on the decks and play a set. And I just thought, like, if that continues, like, people aren't going to want to book me for doing things like that. And I just thought, it's time to give up. But then there was something else that happened that I'm not gonna go really too much into. But I don't really wanna say too much about it. But something happened a couple of years ago. Well, I say something happened. I think something happened, but I can't I can't be completely certain. And it's one of those situations where it's my word against them. So I just personally, I just don't think it's worth causing a scene and racking a case up about it when I can't be completely certain. But something happened a couple of years ago, and there's only really a small minority of people that really know about this. That I've kind of I've told a best friend that, look, I think this might have happened, but that is about as far as it goes. And I just choose not to speak about it because it's quite a controversial topic. And I just personally think that it could just cause so much drama, that I just think, what, it's been and done now. In my mind, it's gone and forgotten about. But it definitely put me off, because when you get into a drunk state, you're not in control of yourself. And things can happen to you, or you can let things happen to you that you wouldn't normally let happen to you being sober. So all I'm gonna say is something happened that was very out of the blue. Something. So I used to be. I don't want to say like a big drinker, but go to a rave, go to an event, go to a house party. I'd like a good drink, and I've been known to do some I've been known to do daft things when I've been drunk, saying the wrong thing, or having an argument with a friend or something. Usual stuff where if you said you started calling me a cunt last night, I'd be like, did I? Oh, I'm sorry about that. But something happened once, and something happened, and it's something that has never ever, and I say this it's something that has never ever happened before, and something that I don't believe is something that I would have done. So a couple of, I want to say ex-friends, they the next morning they said blah blah blah, this happened. And I don't believe it did. I believe there's more to it than what meets the eye. So so essentially, something happened that I don't potentially think it's not something I'd ever normally do. So no, I didn't know. I didn't know. That's not what that's not what I'm on about. But it's a hard one to it's a hard one to say. It's a hard one to discuss. Essentially, I might as well just tell you because I've more or less said it. But essentially, I had a house party at a friend's house, and the following morning, I got quite drunk. I'd got quite drunk. So essentially, I woke up in a friend's chair. They always let me sleep over at the house. It was always a thing because they lived quite far from where I live. So you can always crash over at ours and then just get a bus back the next day. So anyway, the next morning I woke up in their swivelly chair, and let's just say I was naked. I was stark naked, and apparently according to my friends, or one of my friends. Apparently, I'd just like taken all my clothes off, start drunk naked, and this is something that I have never done before. I've jumped through windows. I've fallen over. I've crashed out on sofas. I've had arguments with people. I've knocked people's drinks over. Getting naked is something that I've never done, and I was partially half out of it, and I have this like recollection of somebody saying to me, like whispering, like, "Are you awake?" And like when you're not fully awake but you're not fully asleep. And I thought I heard someone whisper and say, "Are you awake?" So yeah, that is essentially the situation. And then there was a whole joke about it where apparently my friend's boyfriend said like, "Oh, did you get did you go back down and take pictures and all of this, that, and the other." And they're saying like like obviously they didn't, but when you're thinking like, did they actually take pictures, that kind of thing. So it really put me off. It really put me off because like I've been like even all the times I lived at Driffield and I went out to the pubs and I went round drinking, I like just getting naked was something that I'd like never done before in my whole entire life, right? And it's something doesn't sit right. The whole point of the reason like why was I naked, that kind of thing. It was just something that just really didn't add up. So I don't really go around to their houses anymore. So yeah, that is exactly what I'm saying. So I'm saying that is exactly the point of what happened. So I'm saying that she got me naked. She probably touched me up, right? Let's be honest. And then I probably her boyfriend doesn't know that she did. And then he's like joked about taking pictures, and she probably has taken pictures, but made out like she hasn't taken the pictures, like it was just a joke. I don't. Some of it just doesn't sit right. But anyway, it's all in the past. It's another reason why I just don't want to drink anymore. I don't talk about it. It's my word against theirs. They're just saying, look, you got absolutely, legless, and you just stripped off, and they apparently heard like as if I was trying to get out the house or something in the middle of the night, and came down, and do you know what I mean? And that's as far, but it's like their word against mine, my word against theirs. It was like nearly 4 years ago now, so it's all I guess like said and done in the past. For me, no point raking it up. But I'm gonna cut from this anyway. Make sure to like, comment, share. Peace.